Welcome to Gamebird Spotlight, a production of the North American Gamebird Association, bringing ideas, information, issues, and inspiration to the gamebird industry. Today, we're joined by Todd Adkins of the Sportsmen's Alliance. We are discussing the political impact of the Sportsmen's Alliance and the issues that are facing us today. So those four things going across the bottom, issues is our focus today. Todd, tell us about your background.
Sure, Peg. And first, let me just say, I appreciate you so much in inviting me to this important event for all of your supporters and viewers out there. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in America. So I'm taking every opportunity I can to speak to folks, because at the end of the day, it always is about our people, isn't it? Everything we do. Every day I get up, I think about our people. So it's my pleasure to be with you today. I've been in politics for about 30 years now. So you got to get gray hair to learn how important gray hair is. It's one of those things, right? Right? When you're young, you don't, old people, what do they know? Well, I've learned a lot in those 30 years. But first and foremost, I've basically come away with an understanding of the people are what matter. And the hunters, the anglers, the trappers, all the folks in the sportsmen and women community who come together, who have built this great tradition in this country, all of this heritage and all of the wonderful wildlife conservation that we've supported above and beyond everybody else. It is really about these people and the important work they do. So what I've learned is that. And it is not something that you necessarily get rich doing, but I tell you what, it's so satisfying to know, because this community is so important to this country. And at the end of the day, that's what the Sportsmen's Alliance was founded about. We're a little bit unusual. Most organizations, I would say, are more conservation based.
Right.
Well, we definitely focus on the human side of the equation, the hunters, the anglers, and the trappers themselves, and protecting hunting, fishing, and trapping as activities that these folks engage in. So we were founded in the late 70s, but our mission, even though it's long, is really simple. We fight for the people who engage in these wonderful activities. And for folks in Ohio, we're pretty well known, but we work nationwide, and we work on.
We personally, Sam and I, went through several different iterations of the organization. Originally, it was the Ohioans for Wildlife Conservation, and we got involved in 1997 when our now executive director, Rob Sexton, was leading the charge on what was issue 1, the recall of dove hunting in Ohio. And then it became the Wildlife Legislation Fund.
Yeah.
Right. And then U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance, and now Sportsmen's Alliance. So whatever name it's under, it's still doing the same good work. So what it does is very important to our industry. Yep.
No doubt. And I think over time, we've only become more critical to this ongoing fight between those who are arrayed against sportsmen and women to try to take all of this away. And us ensuring by fighting and getting in the ditch and fighting, right. To make sure that we remain protected going forward.
You mentioned something to me earlier about the Achilles heel of the sportsman's population.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So our community, again, for my 30 years in the business, if we have an Achilles heel, it's been the same one throughout, and that is, until you get personally attacked. Let's say you're a duck hunter, and unless somebody comes directly at duck hunting, you're like, yeah, what do I care? It's just about white-tailed deer hunting. Oh, that's just about preserves. I never hunt on preserves. What do I care? Oh, they're just going after those houndsmen. I don't have hounds. I don't really care. And we sit on the couch when we should all be joining hands. Mm-hmm. Divided we fall is absolutely 100% accurate. And this is critical, because I think a lot of folks still in this country don't understand how much power you have when you just decide to stay engaged.
Right. In that dove hunting initiative, we won all 88 counties in 97. And
Right.
that really taught us, well, at that point we had jumped off and started a youth day here at Elkhorn, and we've been running that for 25 years. Not
Good.
too many things go for 25 years, but that impacted us. We saw the power of it, educating people so they vote well. So what issues are you dealing with right now?
Well, many of the issues stay the same over time. It literally, well, in a way, at the top level, it is about how we interact with the environment around us. And the animal rights crowd or the anti-hunting crowd, they just want to remove the human from the equation. So sometimes they will actually blatantly come after houndsmen, the hunting of bear with dogs and things of that sort. But this has now evolved over time. They've gotten very, very sophisticated. And a lot of these groups now try to operate under an animal welfare banner and come up with various and sundry ways to restrict us as folks who hunt with dogs, as an example, in every possible way. Like a bill that looks like it's going to pass in the state of Nevada, no tethering. You're hunting. You have, let's say, 4 or 5 dogs, you're out there hunting, and I don't know a hunter that doesn't safely tether dogs because that's a safe way to take care of their dogs, right? Well, no more tethering. Tethering is not allowed because it's cruel and inhumane treatment. Holy smokes. That's headed to the governor out there, it looks like. We're still fighting.
You can't put them on a leash. You can't put them on anything.
No tether.
Wow.
And they used to, in that state, to show you how carefully these folks work, they used to be an exemption for hunting, for field trials, etc. They stripped it right out. They're not even shy about what they're after anymore. Another bill in the state of Texas. Everybody's like, well, Texas is super conservative and they're not going to come after us there. Well, guess again, to change the definition of breeders in the state, that a dog, what is a dog breeder commercially? Well, under existing law, you have to have 11 intact females and 20 puppies a year before you can even be considered to be a commercial breeder.
Yeah, even in Ohio, that has changed. Here in Ohio, we found last year that they don't consider us a kennel unless we have 2 litters a year. But yet on the other side, they're saying, well, you're going to be a puppy mill if you're doing this. So wordage is so important. Verbiage matters.
And not only that, we have to remember the other side typically has this very strong emotional advantage. They bring the videos, and all of us learn through video presentation now. We know this. YouTube,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Very powerful emotionally. You know, you don't appeal to somebody's logic with video presentation. You learn by video very emotionally, right? So when you show these so-called puppy mills in action and the dogs in the cages and the ASPCA commercials, you've got people. So we have a very tough fight ahead of us. But that bill in Texas is going to reduce from 11 intact females to 5, and you are now a breeder, and a single puppy sold in a year.
Wow.
My friends that I know, it will include them all.
Sure.
That sounds like everybody I know who has dogs just about. So the other side wastes no time in figuring out right now in a given state, what is the lowest hanging fruit? Let's divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. So when people ask me, Todd, what can I do? Get engaged and agree that you will help fight for your brothers and sisters. This is kind of from a wildlife management perspective for the soul of America and how we consider ourselves in this grand landscape of protecting, promoting, conservation, fish and wildlife species, etc.
The divide and conquer idea, I think I've seen it in bow hunting. I'm a purist. I use a straight bow and old wooden arrows. And you're not like me because you use a compound bow. And somebody else uses a recurve and high-tech aluminum. And well, they're not really me. What else can we see? People who love to hunt with muzzle loaders. Well, versus those with semi-autos that hunt with rifles, whatever else. Let's sort them out. Or, you nailed it with the divide and conquer concepts.
Yeah, we have to stay united. When you look at hunter numbers nationwide in this country, we're not going up. That trend line over time is not a healthy trend line for us. So we have to get over ourselves in a way and agree, no, I may not do that, whatever that's being attacked now. I may not dove hunt. I may not hunt on preserves. I may not do this.
High fenced areas.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
well.
Another super emotional thing. They present the video. People lose their logic. They lose their reason. And they allow themselves to be split off, right? Well, that's not me. I don't do that. So I'm not going to come to this fight. Yeah.
One other thing is the European hunts. Okay, people think, well, that's not pure hunting. That's not a field hunt. But you take, and I'll be careful here, you take a businessman from Columbus, Ohio, that doesn't get out regularly. He hasn't had a lot of exercise, has a desk job. Now he's coming and he's getting to hunt. And it is a European style or continental or driven hunt and people will call them tower shoots, which I hate because we're not shooting the tower. We're not hunting a tower. We're not throwing birds out of the tower. It's a point of release. But the wordage, again, it depends. What you say, the terms you use matter. So you have someone who hasn't been active physically, but this is a way they can hunt. Well, then maybe it's not what you would like, but don't take it away from somebody else.
Right. And come to their aid, come to their support, because a lot of folks, continue to be surprised. We're kind of a clickbait type society now, and that's true for politics too. People just kind of want to give me something to click and so I can get out of the room. What is remarkable these days, and this is part of what drives us. A lot of people don't even believe they have the power to affect political change because everybody operates in the social media world now. I tell folks, have you ever gone to visit your personal representative in the state capitol? And they're like, well, no, it is so powerful when you are a constituent,
right?
And you actually show up to say, I'm a hunter. I support hunting. I'm here to just tell you that. And that I oppose House Bill 303 or whatever, right? Whatever the legislative vehicle is. Because so many of us now have separated ourselves from that personal interactive space. It is beyond powerful now. It's almost not like now power on steroids when you have that very personal interaction or even just a phone call. Nobody calls each other now. Just call.
You had an issue in Ohio within the last 2 weeks. You mailed out an email and said, here is a click you can do, and it will send a message to 5 of your people that represent you. And we did that. And I looked at that list and I thought, I don't know anybody anymore.
Right.
10, 15 years ago, I knew everybody in our ODNR. I knew our representatives. I knew our national leaders. And within the last 10 years, that has all switched and we just don't anymore.
Right. It's just a phenomenon of living life in modern America. And so what I'm just trying to remind people is when you actually show up in a different way, an unusual way, which is the old-fashioned way, I am actually in person. I'm at your coffee shop talk. I've come to your office or made a phone call. Remarkable how powerful that can be. So that was me just reminding folks, you can make a difference. You just have to decide to do so.
Right. We have in Ohio here a legislative reception every year.
Yeah.
And to go now, not all the legislators show up, and unfortunately, not a lot of our constituents show up. But those who do network with those who have power to change things. That's one thing. And I'm a big believer in handwritten notes. A
Oh,
handwritten note versus an email. It
huge.
says you thought about this issue. The timeliness isn't always there where an email gets to them or a phone call gets to them. But a
Right.
phone call is an investment rather than a one-click
Right.
kind of quickie
Right.
there.
And
So yeah,
I would say I don't mean to diminish the power of that. If all of us are very, very busy, and I
right,
totally get that. Sometimes I don't have any more time than, and that's why we provide that service. Click here.
right.
It's going to fire off this email, right? And so
Yeah,
that's better than nothing because
absolutely.
that legislator wants to keep their job. That's what all this is about. They want to keep their job.
And they will ask where you live, and you need to give that because they want to know you are their voter. You are their
That's right.
paycheck.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. All
Yeah,
right. Well,
all I'm suggesting is for those who can find the
yes,
15 minute, well, I'm gonna go ahead and call.
right.
Oh, man, it's powerful stuff these days.
Now, talk about who you get when you call, because you're not going to talk to your representative or congressman. You're going to talk to an aide that has, so you ask, who is the aide that is dealing with this
Yeah,
issue? That
that's
shows that
right.
you're savvy about it. You're not just leaving a message. You talk to that aide and say, what is their position? How can I affect them? When are they going to be somewhere where I can talk to them and do
Exactly.
that?
Exactly right. And that there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, the phone rings 100 times a day.
Right.
The representative is not gonna be able to actually, but where you can get very quickly, because nobody does it anymore, is on this trusted constituent list, and they all have them. They have a list of folks who they turn to. You think they don't wanna
Ah,
know how hunters feel about things? And that's why people like me and Rob Sexton visiting them is so powerful. It's not because of us and the way we talk or we
oh,
wear the
oh,
right
come
suit.
on, Shirley, Todd. Right. They want to hear from the people that are directly
That's right.
connected to their region.
That's
Yeah.
right. So once you develop that relationship, even with an aide, maybe sooner or later you do talk directly to the representative because I'll go, I got to talk to this gal or I got to talk to
Right.
this guy. They really know their stuff on hunting issues and they want to have that information when they make decisions.
That's wonderful. Okay. Specific issues that are now we've got people all across the US here.
Yeah.
They need to know what's happening in their state. So I'm scrolling across the bottom, the sportsmansalliance.org, not .com, sportsmansalliance.org, your email address and the website for Sportsmen's Alliance, and it's sportsmensalliance.org. So when they go there, they can search in that and find out what issues are going on in their state, plus to be on a mailing list and have those alerts come in to
Yeah.
them immediately.
Yeah. So one service we provide that it's very rare for organizations to provide this, but you can go on our website and use it as an information source, number one. But number two, you can sign up for our alerts without becoming a member.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we've seen over time is people become very appreciative of those alerts and end up joining over time, but we don't require that. If let's say you're from Nevada and we've got some bad bills going in Nevada right now, that tethering bill I talked about, there's also a bill that will actually prohibit 18 to 20-year-olds from using semi-automatic rifles and shotguns.
Ooh,
So think about what your property would look like with no semi-automatic shotguns.
right.
And how many of us taught, well, I know I taught my son on an 1100 because it's a soft shooter, right? Well, that no
Mhm.
longer is going to be allowed in the state of Nevada. Holy cow.
Yeah,
Anyway, you can sign up for our alerts. And if you're in Nevada, then you are going to get all the alerts relevant to Nevada about the bills moving. It's out of committee. It's going to the governor, what's ever happening. And that's just a service we provide because we figure, again, divided you fall, and the more folks we can get in the know to take action when appropriate, the better off all of us will be.
on that taking action, I think we're crisis fatigued.
Yeah.
So to get to the point where we care again, we may need to recognize we're going to lose not only our recreational, but we could lose our livelihood. And then when we as either hunting club operators or farms realize that if we don't motivate the people that are our clients to be involved, then it's going to have a ripple effect. I just talked to Justin Morrissey from NSSF, National Shooting
Yes.
Sports Foundation, and they have a +1 initiative.
Yes.
I know Sportsmen's Alliance has been involved with, hey, get out, take somebody hunting, be a mentor, get involved with starting a young person, take somebody shooting. There's women's groups, and I can't even think of the names for them, Women in the Outdoors, or Turkey Federation has something, it's a Women's Day. I think all of the organizations have youth, women, they have banquets, they have other things. Whatever you're in, be a part of it and bring somebody along with you.
That's
You and I were talking earlier about you should be training your replacement. If you're I'm a president of an organization. I have 2 wonderful young people coming behind me. I'm trying to teach them how do I use this silly program that brings my face in front of our organization? How do I team up and find other people who are leaders in their organization, like you and like Sportsmen's, NSSF or Animal Agriculture Alliance, and all those things, bringing those issues in front of our people. Somebody needs to know how to run this thing. So training your replacements, make yourself duplicated in a young person that's coming up that's dedicated to hunting. It's not that hard to do. You're doing it anyway. Just bring somebody along with you.
I mean, no doubt about it. And you're 100% right. And if we think about all of these feedbacks that we could be responsible for creating, right? We wouldn't have to worry so much about divide and conquer. We wouldn't have to worry so much about bills showing up in states where they shouldn't be showing up, because the community will be that much stronger. And what that takes, however, this is the hard part. Obvious to me after 30 years. This is the hard part, is a commitment.
Right.
And what I tell folks, again, my boss doesn't necessarily like it. I just want people engaged. And that means with protecting this community. And that means, mentoring young people or somebody who fell out of hunting or a spouse or whatever it is, getting more folks into the field, right? And I don't care which organization you join something.
Yeah, get
So
involved.
that you're aware and you can activate yourself and others to help protect it going forward.
Wonderful. Well, Todd, I really appreciate your time. You mentioned that you've been working in this field for 30 years.
Yes.
You also mentioned to me you were with NRA for a while.
I was. I had a lot of different jobs at NRA, but that's kind of where I cut my teeth in the lobbying world. Way back when. We don't want to go all the way back. We don't care about the date, just a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I've worked for other organizations too, but that's how I got to know Rob so well. We worked side by side on a lot of state issues for a very long time when I was at NRA. So when this opportunity came around, because I've always, Sportsmen's Alliance has always had a special place in my heart. So I jumped at the chance to go to work here.
That's awesome. Well, again, thank you for your time. This has been great. Folks who want to contact you directly can get you at your email that's been scrolling down below. Investigate the website. So here's your action items. Those of you who are viewing in, after you've watched this, contact Sportsmen's Alliance, get on their list, see what's happening in your state, so that you're getting the email alerts, the mail alerts, all of that, and make a list of people that you're going to turn around and notify. You're going to be the relay, because not everybody has the time to scroll through all the website, but you're going to be the liaison with them. You're going to be the person that gets them there. All right, so there's that first action item. Second action item is think about how you can involve somebody else in this field of getting in hunting, doing something outdoors with someone. All right, Todd, anything else to add?
No, that was fantastic. If our entire community could just make a commitment to those two items as you laid them out, I wouldn't have a job anymore. They wouldn't need me
Oh,
for
well,
anything.
we don't want to put you out of a job, but it is wonderful that you are bringing us this information. And again, we're so thankful to the partnership for the Sportsmen's Alliance. You've mentioned that you're free to come to our events and talk. We're looking forward to the next one. That is July 17th to the 19th in Manhattan, Kansas. It is our hunting club conference where we are specializing in issues that are affecting our hunt clubs. So that is in Manhattan, Kansas, often called the Little Apple. It is 2 hours from Kansas City, but we will provide transportation. We've got a shuttle that is available. Anybody who has a private vehicle can either drive in or fly in to a local airport there. And we have 2 full days. It'll start at Monday at noon, goes to Wednesday at noon. We include all of the meals in the registration form. Now, here's the really fun part. We have quite a few folks who are in the Ohio, that's not what I want, outdoors and wildlife programs of Manhattan, Kansas, and Auburn University down in Alabama. And we are offering scholarships for them. We know of at least 15. So the first 15 kids, young people who sign up can get their whole event paid for free. It's going to be, that includes the meals, the seminars, everything. We have folks who are in the industry that have given scholarships for that. Otherwise, look at the website, and I'm going to switch now to North American Gamebird Association's website, scrolling at the bottom. All the information about the event is there. We want to be able to meet the needs for our hunt club people and get them educated and set. We just want to provide everything that they need as well. So if you're watching in, please go do those things. And again, Todd, I'm really grateful that you're here today.
Well, I appreciate you. And I look forward to meeting folks at various and sundry of your events. I really, again, frankly, I've trained dogs on your properties. I've trained young folks, including my son, their first experiences, because I believe in the first experience is a positive, then
Yes.
It'll be good going forward. So I appreciate you and all the hard work you do too.
Well, thank you. I'm going to close up here. And thank you again for being here. Thank you, viewers, for viewing in. Please remember to like and subscribe to Gamebird Spotlight. This is viewed on both YouTube and on our Facebook page. So if you will click the likes and subscribe, then you'll be notified that we're presenting another one that's coming up. And Todd, thank you again. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.